Hey everybody, welcome to part 2 of my mandala mini series where we're going to talk about more of a free-form mandala stamping style. So stay tuned and I will show you how that's done. So I am going to show you how I stamped this mandala. This one obviously is not very structured, but it's still a mandala style that I decided to stamp. So the two ways that I think of stamping a mandala is more structured, or like in our last video where there were a lot of lines to follow, there was a really planned out feel of the mandala. This one, however, I decided to go more free form, which is more my style. I don't like to do really precise work when it comes to this kind of thing, where it's more of like a zen flow for me. So let's head over to the bench and I'll show you how I stamped it.
So I'm making this one on a copper cherry blossom blank, and I am starting off with the Beaducation tall lined heart, and I'm putting that in the center with the point at the center, and then, you know, the little humps of the heart facing outwards to create the center of the blossom. And then the next one that I'm using is Mrs. Poppy. This stamp is from Little Freckle. She's a UK stamp maker and supplier, and the shipping to the US is pretty steep just because it's overseas shipping, but so worth it. Her design stamps are gorgeous. They're super easy to work with. Because they're bigger, you do have to hit them pretty hard, but the images are just amazing. Now this is the right-facing Caesar branch from Beaducation as well. So I'm putting that in between the poppies here, just to give it some more filling, you know, in between those. I'm doing that one off to the right a little bit, since it's a right-facing branch. I love this Echinacea Flower from Beaducation. I use this one a lot. So I'm going to put this one on the petals of the flower here to bring it all the way out to the ends of the mandala. I'm really enjoying using, you know, out-of-the-box shapes for the blanks on my mandalas, and then also the stamps too. I love this idea of the botanical mandala like this. And then to finish it out, I'm going to use the left-facing branch here. And I'm using that on the outsides of the petals. If you look closely, you can see that there are just some empty spaces on the outside of the petals of the cherry blossom there. And I just want my mandala to be really filled in. So I'm just going to go ahead around the blossom with that Caesar branch. And I'll leave, again, the links to all of the stamps and everything that I've used and the products that I've used in the description of the video, so check down there when you're ready. If you decide that you want to make a mandala just like this one or get creative. So now that that's done stamping, I'm just going to inspect it and make sure that everything looks the way I want to and the impressions are all as deep as I'd like them to be. And then I am going to darken this with liver of sulfur. Now this works really well for metals that have a copper element in them. So I'm using cleansing alcohol, rubbing alcohol, whatever, to go ahead and really clean off the surface of this blank. I don't want any oils or anything left on it. And then I'm using plastic gloves, vinyl gloves, whatever, to go ahead and apply the liver of sulfur, and I'm cheating. I'm rubbing it right onto my blank here instead of creating a bath solution. I don't know if this is naughty, but it works, and I just don't like making an entire solution of liver of sulfur when I'm only darkening one piece. And you can see it darkens fast. And so, I don't know, I just kind of skip the middleman and don't add water. Sometimes I do, but this time I decided not to. And then I off screen cleaned it off really well with some baking soda water and then dried it here, and you can see it just darkened it really nicely to that rich brown. And I could have left the liver of sulfur on longer if I wanted to get it really black, but I decided I wanted it to be more of a brown color. So I'm removing the darkening agent off of the top surface so that it only stays in the impressions. And there you can see how it looks when it's finished. And then I'm just using my little magnet again, doing my little trick to clean up those shavings from the steel wool, which I hate. They're like slivers. So I like to get them cleaned up right away. So to seal it, I'm using Renaissance wax. I am a weirdo. I love the smell of this stuff. It reminds me of my dad's printing shop when I was a kid. But you just need the tiniest little bit on a soft cloth, and you're going to go ahead and rub that onto the blank that you've just darkened, and then you're going to buff and buff and buff and buff until it's shiny. I actually cut out quite a bit of the buffing for the video. So there it is.
Okay, so that is how our little freeform mandala is made. Let me show you one more time, get my face out of there so that it stops trying to focus on me. What a thoughtful camera. So here it is. If you prefer the freeform mandala like I do, let me know in the comments. So thanks so much for joining me. I will leave a link in the description for all of the products that I used. Have a great day. Accurate. Okay.